Good morning dear students, welcome back to our online class. I hope you all are absolutely fine. So dear students, in last class we are learning about the mixtures, okay, pure substance, elements. We have discussed some few points as well as we have learned the difference between the homogeneous mixture and the heterogeneous mixture. So dear students, let's extend this part with new concept. So dear students, before going to the main concept, let's discuss some difference between the pure substance and the mixture. So already we have discussed, just recall it. The pure substance consists of a single type of substance where the mixture is consisting of two or more pure substance. In the pure substance cannot be separated into other substance by physical methods. Okay, if you are applying the physical methods like cutting, hammering or pushing or stretching, then what happens? This pure substance will not going to leave their particles. The constituent particle will not going to be cut there. Okay, it will not going to be separated. Then what about the mixture? Mixture can be separated into its component by physical method. Okay, it can be separated into physical, it can be separated by physical methods. Yeah, mixture it's having the criteria that we can separate it into its component by physical methods, because this is the mixture, so we can separate it. What about the pure substance? It's have a own definite properties. It's have a their own properties which is not matched by another pure substance. Okay, where mixture is, what happened? It shows the properties of components. If suppose if we are taking the 2 or 3 type of pure substance and we are adding together and we are preparing the mixture, then what happened? They are going to show their different properties. So dear students, when we are learning such type of things, then we have to prepare a flow chart. So this is a flow chart which is easy to remember that what we are going to study in this concept. Okay, so when the matter we are taking, it is divided into pure substance and the impure substance, then this pure substance, it will going to be divided into elements and the compounds, where impure substance is nothing but the mixture. Okay, so directly you can write as a pure and mixture. This mixture will going to divided into homogeneous mixture and the heterogeneous mixture. Then later on, this solution homogeneous mixture will show the, or you can say as, it will going to again classified in the solution form. Okay, so whatever solutions we are preparing, it is almost the examples of homogeneous mixture. Then what about the heterogeneous mixture? It is suspension and the colloidal. Okay, it is the suspension and the colloidal. Okay dear students, so here colloidal, suspension and the solution, they three are examples of homogeneous mixture and the heterogeneous mixture. So in this chapter we have to learn this solution, suspension and the colloidal properties and examples of this homogeneous mixture and the heterogeneous mixture. So dear students, let us learn one by one. So in today's class, first we are going to discuss the solution part. Okay, what do you mean by solution? Have you saw solution? Yes, solution is a special type of mixture. Okay, so in day to day life we are having the solution, as well as we are taking the taste of the solution. Like if you are getting thirsty, then you are going to have cold drinks, soft drinks or limbu sharbat. So what is this? This is nothing but the example of solution itself. So how you are going to define this solution in chemical equation or in a chemistry? That a solution is a special type of mixture where a solution is a homogeneous mixture. Is it? It is the homogeneous mixture, because this is the part of a homogeneous mixture, but it contains two types of things. What are those two things? That is the solute and the solvent, or you can say that solution is the combination of solute and the solvent. Okay, then next question arise in your mind, what do you mean by the solute? Okay, so solute is nothing but the solid. Okay, it is the solid part that gets dissolved. Okay, it gets dissolved. Example, salt and sugar. So dear students, this is the wording forms. Okay, suppose if you are taking one glass of water, okay, if you are taking one glass of water and you are adding here some amount of salt or sugar, okay, so what we are adding to form the solution, that is nothing but the solute. So this is our solute. Okay, this is our solute, and where we are going to dissolve it? In the water. Okay, in the water we are going to dissolve it. Okay, so the liquid part, this is the liquid part that does the dissolving. Okay, so we are going to add this solute into the solvent. So what is solvent here? It is the water. Okay, so the question can be asked by giving the example, a solution of water and the salt, which is the solute and which is the solvent. So at that time what you have to write? So water is a solvent and salt is a solute. Okay, so this is the our definition about solute and the solvent. So what is a solute? Solute means the solid part that gets dissolved. Okay, it will going to be dissolved in where? In the solvent. And what is the solvent? That liquid part that does the dissolving. Okay, so where we are going to dissolve the solid particles, it is nothing but the solvent. So for example, you can take a water. Again they have a more classification about the solvent, organic solvent, inorganic solvent, but as per your syllabus that much is enough, that what you have to keep in your mind, that solution is the combination of solute and the solvent. So what is the solute? That solid particles gets dissolved. Okay, it will going to be dissolved where? In the solvent particles. Okay, so now whatever examples I have given you, this is one of the image where the solution is the sugar and water. So what is the solvent here? That is the water, and what is the solute here? That is the sugar. Okay, now if you are doing this thing in a chemical lab, then if it is a okay, if you are taking one of the kind of solute and the solvent, so let's discuss this thing by doing this activity. Okay, so this mixture is nothing but the copper sulphate solution. This is the copper sulphate mixture. Okay, this is the copper sulphate mixture. So here what is that? It is the solute, and if we are adding this mixture into water, then what you will get? It is the solution. Okay, so what is the solution? It is copper sulphate solution. So this is also one of the example of solution itself which we have taken, which we have understand by taken the example of laboratory. Okay, so here what are the types of the solution? Let's discuss. A substance that dissolve in a solvent is called as a soluble. Okay, so the substance usually which dissolved in a solvent is called as the soluble, whereas substance that does not dissolve, okay, if it is going, the substance or the solid will not going to be dissolved, then it is called as a insoluble. And if the two liquids, suppose if you are taking, okay, if you are taking the two liquids that are soluble in each other in any proportions are called as a miscible. Okay, if you are going to take a solution of water sugar, okay, water and sugar, and water and salt, then just try to mix with each other. Whether it is a possible to mix with each other? Yeah, it is a possible to mix with each other. So if the two liquids that are soluble in each other in any proportion is called as the miscible, okay, or you can say as a miscible solution. When the two liquids that can be mixed but separate shortly after the immiscible, okay, So if you can take a simple example about the immiscible solution, that is oil and water, then what happen? It will not going to be mixed with each other. Okay, so this is one of the example of immiscible. Okay dear students, so these are the types of the solution. Okay, so here let's discuss the general properties of the solution. So what is the general property? First general property is homogeneous mixture of two or more substance. Okay, so which type of mixture it is? It is a homogeneous mixture where it has a variable composition. Okay, it has a variable composition. And the dissolved solid is molecular or ionic in size. So what happen? Whatever compounds we are taking, it can be in a molecular form or in a ionic form. Suppose if we are taking the copper sulfate itself, it is the one of the salt. Okay, the mixture of copper and the sulfate. So which type of mixture it is? It is the ionic mixture. So it can be molecular or ionic in size. So dear, next fourth property of solution, that a solution may be either colored or colorless. Yeah, it is a general property. If we are preparing a white color solution, then you will get a maybe in the form of clear solution, but if we are preparing the copper sulfate solution, then you will get a blue color solution. So usually what happen? The solution may be get as a either colored or colorless. Okay, but it is also a generally transparent. The solution should be in a transparent form. Okay. Next is the fifth property of the solution, that the solute remains uniformly disturbed throughout the solution and will not settle out throughout the time. So what happen? If we are taking the solution of water and sugar itself, so after dissolving the particles of sugar, whether it is a possible to see the particle of sugar? No, because it is a usually dissolve it. So we cannot say that it will going to be settled into lower layer of the glass. Okay. Sixth one is the solute can be separated from the solvent by physical method. So by applying some physical method, we can separate the solute and the solvent. Okay, in upcoming classes we are going to learn how to separate the homogeneous mixture and the heterogeneous mixture. That is a different concept. After in next class we will going to discuss, means after 2 to 3 class we are going to focus on the separation of the mixtures. So here some of the examples we have about the solution, that is solute in solvent. So here two types of phases are there, that is gas and the liquid, and gas and solid and liquid and the gas. So here some types of solute in solvents examples we have here for understanding the solution concept. So these also are the types of the solvent where gas in a gas. Okay, gas in a gas. So atmosphere is the mixture of mostly nitrogen and oxygen. Okay, this is also one of the type of solution itself. Next example is liquid in liquid. So you can take a simple example about the wine. It is mostly a mixture of ethanol and the water. Okay, so here this is also one of the type of solution itself where the two phases are liquid and the liquid itself. So both solute and the solvent, here liquid and the liquid. So dear students, don't get confused. You have to take only solute and solvent. So we have taken a simple example, but in our atmosphere many varieties of the solutions are present. So here set of the examples we have collected. As well as solid and solid, if the two solids are intermixed with each other, then what happens? This is also one of the type of solution itself. So it is the alloy. Alloy, it is the combination of two metals. Okay, so you can take an example about the brass. It is a mixture of the metals where copper and the zinc. Okay, this is one of the example about the solid in solid. Next example is gas in a liquid. Okay, so which type of example you can take? Usually if we are feeling acidity in our stomach, then what happen? We are taking the ENO. Okay, so after this ENO powder, when we are dissolving into water, which gas formed there? That is the carbon dioxide. Okay, so carbonate in the soft drinks, in a sugar water. Okay, so this is also one of the example of gas in a liquid. Next example is solid in solid. So what is this? Sea water, dissolved salt in a water. Okay, so usually sea water is containing salt. Okay, so here the example is solid and liquid. Next example is solid in gas. Okay, so here you can take example about the smoke, tiny solid particles in atmospheric gases. Okay, so these are the example of solution. Now dear students, let's take a simple concept about the concentration of the solution. So here in this image, what you can see here, this is the conical flask where we have taken some solid amount and we are adding into the water. Okay, so here the concentration of solution is the amount of solute. Okay, whatever amount we are taking, that is present in a given amount. Okay, so after adding this solute, you will get a one solution. So here whatever solution we are getting here in the third image, so if we must to know that what is the concentration of solution, then you can define in this form that the concentration of a solution is the amount of a solute. Okay, amount of solute is present in the given amount. So water is the given amount. So here this is the concentration. If suppose if you are taking the 2 gram of solute and dissolved into the 10 ml of water, then what is the amount here? The concentration of this solution, it is the 2 gram in a 10 ml. Okay, so this is the, sorry, just take a large amount of the water because our quantity is high. Okay, so better just 2 gram in a 100 ml of water. So no problem, it will going to be dissolved here. So what is the concentration of this solution? That is the 2 gram in a 100 ml. Okay, solute and the solvent. So this is the concentration of solution. So here next concept is saturated and unsaturated solution. So dear students, if suppose if you are taking one glass of water, okay, then what happen? You are adding 1 spoon of salt into the water, then at certain stage it will going to be dissolved here. Okay, if you are going to add more and more salt like 2 spoon, 4 spoon, 6 spoon, 8 spoon, and till here itself you have added the salt itself. Whether it is possible to dissolve this solute into the solvent? No, it will not going to be dissolved here. So at this situation we have given a name as a saturated and unsaturated solution. Saturated means satisfied. Okay, saturated means satisfied and unsaturated means unsatisfied. So at any particular temperature, a solution that has dissolved as much solute is capable of dissolving is called as a saturated solution. If suppose here itself the solute is dissolving and such type of solution is called as a saturated solution. If we are adding more and more solute into the solvent and it will not going to be dissolved here, the particles of solute it will not going to be dissolved here, then what happen? It is called as the unsaturated solution. Okay, so it is a unsaturated solution. So the amount of the solute present in the saturated solution at this temperature is called as a solubility. So here the amount of solute where the particles are going to be dissolved here, it is called as the solubility. Okay, so this is our example of saturated solution and unsaturated solution. So dear students, whatever we have discussed, just take up points in your book, and then later on in next class we are going to solve one question. So you will get a better understand of these equations of concentration of mass by mass percentage of the solution. So just dear students, go through the concept. If you are finding any difficulty, just call me or approach me. I am ready to explain. Okay, so let's meet in the next class. Have a good day. Bye bye.